Hi YouTube, my name's Ryan and I'm going to react to Drago Borne. So what you see in front of you is the playmat and the demo deck and two promos for playing and completing the demo with Bushy Road. I had Bushy Road come through my LGS yesterday and got to play a demo game with the demo deck. We'll go through the cards here momentarily, but this is the mat. I don't have a good setup to sit down and shuffle the cards. So you see, it kind of works like Pokemon L5R, got some dice in there. So what you see before you is the playmat, and what you do is you have the banners, where it says banner down there at the bottom. That is where you basically play your mana. And each card, here we'll take one right there, has a little symbol at the bottom, so this is blue, but you need a banner to actually play the blue card from the beginning. So the way it works is, let's move these promo cards over. This deck isn't really shuffled. Let's take, those are our banners. So we got a red one, green one, and yellow in the basic deck. That right there. And that's how it starts. So you draw your hand. Your hand's 5 cards. You can decide to mulligan. Mulligan in this game works just like Force of Will. You choose the number of cards you want to mulligan, and you put them back under your deck. Or excuse me, you shuffle them back into your deck, and you draw a number of those cards again. So let's start off. Let's take our hand of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. So this will be our hand. Okay. Next, I'm going to set that aside. Top of my promos. You see these things called forts right here. What we do, it's kind of like Pokemon, but it's a reverse situation. Instead of prizes, you don't get the prizes for destroying your opponent's fort. If your opponent destroys your fort, you get the prize card. So it's a bad thing to get the prizes, if you will. You put 2 cards per fort. I'm just going to do 2 right now. So with our hand on our first turn, what we would do is we would stand or untap or recover or whatever you want to call it to have everything ready for use. The next thing we would do is we would roll the dice, and we would assign them right there on our dragon shields. They're like extra defense for your forts, as long as the forts are in play. So if you roll a 6 on the green die, it needs to go there. So the dice have to go there. If your fort is destroyed, you can save that dice and assign it to one of your creatures to block later. So that's the dice step. Then the next thing, if it's the first turn for the first player, they do not draw. They draw. They do not, so it goes stand, dice, draw, resource. They do not play a resource. Playing a resource would be drawing the first card, top of your deck, and using that mana symbol. So now, if I was the second player and it was my first turn, I would have red, 1 green, and 2 yellow mana available to me. So the way casting a spell works, or a card, is in the top left corner. What you have there is the casting cost. So this card costs at least 1 yellow. So think of it, for you Magic players, think of it as each one of these costs 1 yellow and 2 other. This red one would be 1 red and 2 other. Force of Will, your attribute, this would be 1 red, 1 fire, and 2 other, or 1 light and 2 other. So to cast this angel on to my fort, I would have to tap down at least 1 yellow and 1 other. And that's how you would cast to get things out. During your main phases, when you would play this, you would summon a creature, cast a spell, use an act ability. You can also move your creatures as much as you want between your forts during your main phase. You can do all this during your main phase. Once you start the combat phase, which is after the main phase, you cannot move your creatures or any of that. So during my demo game, it was pretty interesting. We didn't get into the ambushes, as you see there. But during my demo game, it became apparent that you need to leave a defender here to be able to defend, because if you get attacked and you're tapped out and your opponent attacked you, they have to get through the defense value on the dice, and then because you don't have a defender there, they would take 2 more attacks and wipe out that fort. So you don't want to swing out, if you will, like is common in ramp decks and aggro decks. So anyway, that is Drago Borne in a nutshell. I hope you get to play it if you like it. I thought it was a good game. These cards feel wonderful. They're smooth, they're great. I actually did not have sleeves with me, and I sleeve all my cards. My expensive Magic Commander decks are double sleeved, so I was cringing leaving the store with my daughter. I actually had to put the cards in my pocket like a kid without a rubber band, and this deck has survived. It does not look lightly played to me, or that it even went through my pocket or anything like that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video so far, and we will take a look at some cards next in a more stable camera setting.